9 years ago, hell wanted to erase your name from the maps of destiny. 3 demons sealed a pact, and without you knowing it, you collaborated by opening a door with a phrase you let slip into the darkness. But God interposed himself, sent one of his own, sent me, and I was there when no one else could rescue you. Can I ask you something? I don't speak as a soldier of God, but as someone who has stuck by you in all the heavy moments that no one saw. Can you stay with me a little longer? I covered you when your dreams were collapsing, when someone you loved tried to hurt you from behind, when a witch poured blood on a candle uttering your name. I overturned the altar, but you kept turning your back on me. I cried. I shouted your name in the midst of a storm. I used my wings to protect you when I had no more strength. But every time I wanted to speak to you, you turned away. Every time heaven made noise for you, you didn't want to hear. And now I'm falling because my heart can no longer bear watching over someone who doesn't want to be protected. God spoke to me about you and told me he had to send my angels to watch over you at every step. It's not a joke. It's a special message just for you. Heaven wept so that these words would reach you. And I, Michael, who have fought for your soul so many times, come here one last time. It's my farewell. If you don't listen, it's not a game, and it's not something I will repeat. Passing by this one more time will be the end. This message can erase itself in 45 seconds, and if that happens, the opportunity won't return. The angel chosen for you can fall silent forever. You must know that. There's a truth that God allowed me to share now, and I have been ordered to withdraw, leaving you to decide whether you will live or not, whether you will continue to be protected, or whether you will fall. They will uphold you so that you do not strike your foot against the stones. But this order is on hold because you have forgotten your identity. You have forgotten who I am, and, saddest of all, you have forgotten who He is. As you dive into the hidden and revealing truths of this message, subscribe to this spiritual healing channel on YouTube, so you don't miss any other direct alert from God and the Archangel Michael. Become a member of this channel if you desire to receive even more intimate messages addressed exclusively to you. And if you can and want to contribute to this channel, leave a super thanks of any amount, because the revelations you will receive here will undoubtedly change the course of your life. And I thank you immensely in advance for finally having faith, for finally listening with attention. The Archangel Michael is sad because you are about to let go of the only miracle that heaven crafted especially for you. When you were born, there was silence in hell because even Satan was frightened seeing your face, not for your strength but for what God hid in you. A mark, a divine tear that can cause great devastation against the kingdom of shadows. But every time you ignore my voice, that mark weakens. Don't you know that someone close to you has already been possessed by a demon? Don't you know that your name is mentioned by a person who reads the future and who sold her soul? Don't you know that your silence allowed the chains to tighten? But I know because I watched over you while you slept, fighting while you doubted and crying while you laughed. Do you remember that day when you almost lost your life? It was I who held the wheel for you. Do you remember that night when you felt something heavy on your chest and thought it was anxiety? It was a demon and I cast it out. But now I'm tired, because love tires too when it is ignored repeatedly. Do you still love God? Or has silence made you forget? Would you recognize the voice of heaven if it called your true name, chosen soul? This is not a story to entertain. It is a warning in the form of words. It is a tear falling from the throne. It is the cry of a truth that has been hidden by your distractions. I will be direct. If you ignore this message one more time, I will never speak to you again. I will no longer protect you, not because I hate you, but because heaven respects your choices. And if you choose silence, you will have silence. If this has touched your soul, write Amen, so that the angels know you have listened. Thank you. I love you more than the difficulties I have faced for you. Please don't leave. The last trumpet has not yet sounded. Before going further, write in the comments, "No evil reaches me because I am protected by the light of the angels." This will seal your energy with the strength of the angels and prevent any shadow from approaching. Now come with me. Put a like, not for me, but so that heaven can help another person before it's too late. And if I told you that in this precise moment heaven is silent waiting for your choice, dear, Can I ask you something? Not as someone who fights, but as a friend who has been by your side in all the invisible difficulties. Can you stay with me just a little longer, because this is the truth that no one else should hear. It is the message that God has hidden for a long time, waiting for the day you would wake up. And that day is today. The veil is torn. The light is turned on. The judgment has begun. Do you know who I am? I am Michael. I have come several times in human history with a sword of fire, with trumpets and lights, with important messages. But this time I don't come as a leader. I come as someone wounded by your rejection. I come as someone who could listen until he stopped having faith. I protected you even before you were born. I saw your soul before you had a body. I perceived the struggle weighing on you even when you didn't yet know who you were. And you can't imagine how many times I asked God for one more chance to speak to you. This is that chance. It won't return. It was decided long ago. Your family is different from others. Your tears don't fall to the ground. They are kept in crystal cups by mourning angels. Your silences are heard in heaven. Every time you doubt, a wall in heaven trembles. Every time you turn away, one of us is wounded. But today you must know something important. It's not a punishment, it's not revenge, it's love. A love so intense, so hard to explain, so complete that it has broken me. Because I can no longer bear to see how you reject. I can no longer feel how you close your soul when I speak. I can't face another of your silences. The Lord told me, if Michael walks away, he will remain unprotected. And I replied that you must decide. Because heaven doesn't force anyone to anything. Heaven only waits. But I have already waited too long. Pay attention with all your heart. If you ignore this, I will never speak to you again. And when you are in trouble, thinking everything is collapsing, you will seek me and you won't find me. Not because I don't care, but because you didn't listen to what God was saying when he was close to you. Do you know what was hidden? There was a secret meeting with the 7 archangels. Your name was written in fire on heaven's table. One of the cherubim asked, "What do we do if he continues to reject us?" And the Creator, sad, replied, "We must give him one last chance. If he doesn't take it, it's time to close the door. This is that chance, and there are more things I must say. The miracle you asked for, that you begged for when you were alone and cried with closed eyes, was already ready, but it went to another person. Why did it happen? Because you were distracted when it arrived. Your soul was closed. You didn't pay attention when the angel passed by, but despite everything, the miracle was not lost. It was preserved. I'm here to give it back to you. But you must open your heart now and not ignore me this time, because if you do, you won't just lose the miracle. You will close the door forever. The voice of the Most High was heard this morning like fire on water. I will send my angels to guard you, and they will uphold you with their hands so that you do not stumble. This is in Psalm 91. This warning I gave. I am that angel. But this protection is coming to an end, dear. You no longer love me. The waiting has made your faith disappear. You have forgotten that I protected you while you slept. Don't you remember when I fell on your bed at night, holding the hand of the one who wanted to harm you? If you still listen, write Amen now so that heaven knows you are awake. Because if you say nothing, the seal will break. I saw what will happen. I saw the name of your enemy written on a dark altar. I saw him say bad things. I saw demons raise flags with your face stained with blood. Yes, the one who doesn't even know she hates you, the one who comes from there. She made a vow of destruction against you, and that vow was heard by beings who know no forgiveness. But the Father said, we can still send Michael one more time. And here I am, wounded, tired, and trembling, not for fear of the darkness, but for fear of losing you forever. Will you stay this time? Will you listen until the end? Remember this. Every word I say is kept in you. When you perceive it, you will know I wasn't speaking for the world, but only for you. I saw when you cried alone in the bathroom, when you asked God to speak to you, if he loved you. This is the moment. It's the whisper that becomes a strong voice. In my distress I called upon the Lord and cried unto my God. He heard my prayer from his temple, and my cry reached him. Psalm 18. That cry was heard. You didn't know it, but in that moment I descended, and yet, after all, you keep passing by. You keep ignoring the gentle touches in your heart. You keep running after what shines, while what really matters stays behind. But this will change. It's the last time. If you ignore me now, I'll leave. Not because I want to, but because I've been ordered to. I won't be able to appear in your dreams anymore. I won't be able to fight for you anymore. I won't be able to prevent the next problem. God doesn't want you to know everything, but He allowed me to say this. Someone close to you is about to betray you. It's already decided. He has already made a pact with the dark side. But if you listen to this message until the end, the plan will fail and that person will be discovered before the full moon. What you don't see and don't know is that you are more special than you think. Battles have been fought for you in places no one can name. Heaven has sent armies for you. I faced Leviathan alone, the demon of the abyss, because you carry in you a spark that can defeat hell. And if you fall, many will fall too. That's why I'm so hard, why I'm nervous, why I cry. To have this strength in your life right now in the comments, I activate my spiritual protection shield. Continuing the message, thank you. I love you more than everything I've been through to get here. Please, don't leave me. The last trumpet has not yet sounded. If this has touched your heart, put a like so that heaven can help another person before it's too late. Comment. What did heaven tell you? Your words can release things you don't even perceive. Now decide. Will you ignore me again, or will you let me stay? Because if you choose to let me go, dear, it won't be me who leaves, but eternity will close a door behind you. And when silence fills your nights, you won't just hear the emptiness. You will hear my voice that can no longer enter. In the world we don't see, the bells are already ringing, not for your death but for your destiny. There's a difference. Death is what happens to the body, but destiny is the struggle for the soul, the fire for the promise, the eternal echo of what you came for. God wrote your story with light, but you tore those pages without realizing it. Every time you ignore the call, a prophecy crumples. Every time you doubt, an angel kneels. Every time you reject this message, the demons rejoice because they know you don't need to lose faith to be defeated. Just delay it. Do you want to know what the demons say about you when you don't listen? They say, he doesn't believe he was chosen. He doesn't remember what he carries in him. Attack now. They attack through other people's emotions and thoughts that are not yours. Yet I am here with my sword even if you don't see it, with my wounded wings for having protected you, and with my prayers to the Father so that you don't give up, because there is a code in your soul, a secret that even you don't know, but that hell fears. Do you want to know why people hate you so much? Because one person received this vision, this struggle, this calling, and carries in her the secret name that opens eternal doors. Now I must tell you something that has been kept secret since the beginning of time. The first time your soul arrived on this earth, 7 stars descended from heaven to guide you. Each star represented an angel. Each angel had a task, and I was the first among them. The promise was clear. Michael, watch over this soul as if it were my own voice. And I did day after day, facing attacks and performing miracles. But now our agreement is on the verge of breaking because you are almost forgetting me. And forgetting me, you forget your angel. You lose the fight before it begins. Do you think all this is by chance? That this voice you hear now is just noise among sounds? No. It's the last opportunity heaven gives me to speak to you without masks. After this, there will only be warnings, broken dreams, lost opportunities, people who will come to hurt you. Because if you don't want to listen to your protector, God will let you feel the emptiness. I don't say it to scare you, I say it to wake you up. Because you are more loved than you imagine, more necessary than you believe, and stronger than you think. And if this message has made sense to you so far, and you want to help it reach other people who are also going through difficulties, click on Super Thanks. This small act helps keep this mission alive, to bring hope to those who no longer believe. Do you know how many times God mentioned your name this week? 3 times. And always with a sad voice, like someone who sees a child walking away. He said, "My son no longer seeks me. My daughter no longer sings to me. He doesn't realize that I send signals. This is one of them, and it is not full of ornaments. It has no little lights, no music, no applause. There's only one truth. If you leave now, it will be hard, not forever, but for a time I can't explain. A period of difficulties, of loneliness, where your soul will seek my voice and won't find it. Beloved, stay, because if you stay, something will change. The seal won't fall. The miracle will return to you. The betrayal will be thwarted. The door will open and I won't leave. But if you go, time will close, and when you wake up tomorrow, you will feel that something is missing, something that is not seen, but that is as real as your breath. The shield. I am that shield. And if you no longer believe it, at least feel this. Every word I say shines with a divine fire. Every letter has the taste of my tears. Every line is a plea that heaven allowed me to make only for you. You will arise and have compassion on Zion, for it is time to have pity on her, for the appointed time has come. Psalm 102:13. This message is for you. The appointed time has come, and I have something more to say, something that has anguished me for days. God showed a vision to the cherubim this morning. It was about your future. There were two paths. One was bright, but led to darkness. The other seemed full of thorns, but at the end there was a golden door. That door bears your name, and the key is your choice. Now the world is about to go through a great change. A war is approaching, but it is not a battle with visible weapons. It is a struggle of wills, identities, and souls. If you are not in your place, the balance will be lost. I am not here only to warn. I am here to say that you are part of the invisible army. You were not born only to survive. You were born to liberate, open doors, heal curses, and speak with divine authority. But if you ignore this calling, others will take your place. Not because they are better, but because you didn't respond. And I, dear, have waited so long. I shouted your name during storms. I knocked down obstacles just so you would listen to me. I flapped my wings in battles to deflect arrows heading straight for your soul. Don't abandon me now. If I had a human heart, it would be broken. Because this time it's not a game. It's serious. Now write in the comments, my energy is sacred and no evil can affect me. This phrase affirms your courage, your faith, and your spiritual rebirth. There's something you need to know about the spiritual world that few know. When heaven gives one last chance to a soul, it's not a decision taken lightly. It's a decision that comes after many prayers, tears poured on the celestial altar, and pleas that reach God. And today, in this precise moment when your hands hold this device, your eyes read these words, and your heart feels this new energy, you are living this. It's not by chance that this message reached you now. It's not luck that among millions of people it's you who received this revelation. Heaven planned every second, every detail, and every beat of your heart so that this encounter would happen, because there's something in you that even you don't perceive, something that was kept secret from the moment your soul was born, something so precious that even hell organized itself to try to destroy it. Before you notice it, you carry in you a sign, a code, a spiritual vibration that can change not only your life, but an entire generation. That's why the attacks have been so strong, why the difficulties seemed endless. That's why, every time you were about to conquer something important, something prevented it. It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't bad luck. It was a spiritual battle fought in the heights for what you represent. But now the hour has come for the truth to be revealed. The hour when the veils are torn and you can clearly understand what happens in the world that is not seen. During all these years, while you struggled alone, thinking that no one understood your pain, while you went through dark nights of the soul believing that God had forgotten you, I was present at every tear you shed, while the rest of the world slept. I was there every time you wanted to give up, but a mysterious force made you continue. I was sustaining your soul in every case that saved your life, in every person who appeared at the right time, in every opportunity that opened when everything seemed lost. It was I acting in your story. You believed you were alone, but you never were. You thought your prayers didn't reach anywhere, but every word of your heart was heard in heaven. You imagined that God didn't care about your problems, but the truth is that all of heaven mobilized for you. And now, after so much time protecting you, after so much time guarding you without being noticed, after so much time preventing the worst from happening in your life, it's time to hear a clear decision from you. Because freedom to choose is sacred, and even heaven cannot force someone to accept help they don't want. Do you know what was the most difficult moment for me in all these years? It wasn't facing demons, it wasn't fighting against powers of darkness, nor crossing spiritual worlds to reach you. It was seeing you blame yourself for situations that were not your responsibility. It was realizing that you considered yourself weak, while in reality, you are a true warrior. It was observing how you doubted your worth, while in truth, you are one of the most precious souls I have protected. How many times I wish to appear clearly just to tell you, you are loved, you are important, you have a great purpose. Stop undervaluing yourself, but the spiritual rules are simple. I can act in a way that would make you lose faith. I cannot show myself in a way that diminishes the value of your journey. That's why I always worked discreetly, I always helped without you seeing it. I always made sure you recognize God for all the good things that happened in your life. Maybe you didn't know that behind every blessing, every protection, and every miracle that occurred in your life, there was an angel who received orders from heaven to guard you as if you were his own child. Because in the Father's eyes, that's exactly what you are. A beloved son, a precious daughter, a soul worth more than all the treasures of the world. And if you felt that this message has really touched your heart, remember that supporting this mission is also an act of love. If you feel it inside you, click on Super Thanks, so more people can receive words that help and illuminate. But today something different happened. Today I received new instructions from heaven. Today I was told that it was time for you to discover who you really are. It's time to understand why your life has been so full of experiences. You must realize that all the challenges you faced were actually training, preparation for something much greater that is coming. The world is about to go through a change, an era in which the struggle between light and darkness will increase like never before. And you were not chosen only to witness this struggle. You were chosen to be one of the main ones, an agent of change, a source of light in the approaching darkness. That's why your training has been so rigorous, why the difficulties have been so challenging. That's why you had to face situations that others have not faced. It was not punishment, it was preparation, it was not abandonment, it was shaping. It was not by chance, it was with a purpose. Now that this preparation phase is complete, it's time for you to take your true place, to accept your mission, to leave aside the victim vision, to adopt the identity of victor, which has always been part of who you really are. But to reach your true destiny, it is necessary that you make a choice. You must decide if you will continue to live with doubts or if you will open yourself to the greatness of your purpose. You must choose between continuing to hide behind excuses or accepting the responsibility of being the person you truly are. You must decide if you will continue to believe the lies that have been inculcated in you, or if you will start living the truth that heaven has always known about you. This decision cannot wait, because time is limited and the mission is great. The dark forces have already noticed that you are waking up. They have felt that the protection around you has strengthened, and they have perceived that something has changed in your spiritual energy. That's why they have intensified the attacks, increased the pressure, and do everything to make you surrender before discovering who you really are. But if you have made it this far, if what I say touches you, if something in you connects to this message, it's because your calling is true. It's because your choice is real. It's because now it's your turn to shine with all the strength that has always been in you, waiting to be released. Have you noticed that your life has never been ordinary? That things always happen to you that don't happen to the majority? That you have a different sensitivity and acute perception, and an ability to feel things that other people don't feel? That there has always been something in you that made certain people uncomfortable without apparent reason? That there was a force in you that didn't let you give up even in the hardest moments? All this was not by chance. They are marks of your spiritual origin, signs of your true heavenly identity, proofs of your divine purpose. You were never like the others, because you were never called to have a life like theirs. You have always been different, because you have always had the mission to make a difference. You have always felt that you didn't fully belong to this world, because in reality, your true home is the kingdom of heaven. And now it's time to stop trying to fit into places where you were never meant to fit, and to start occupying the space that rightfully belongs to you. It's time to leave aside spiritual insecurity and assume the authority that heaven has already granted you. Now is the time to stop asking permission to be who you are, and to start being who you have always been destined to be. But I want you to know that this discovery comes with a responsibility. Knowing who you really are means accepting the task that comes with this identity. Understanding your spiritual value means using that value to help others. Recognizing your heavenly authority requires that you use that authority to free those who are still trapped. Because you were not chosen only to receive blessings, but to be a blessing. You are not separated only to be protected, but to be a guardian. You are not prepared only to win your own battles, but to support others in theirs. And I know that this can seem very heavy, seem too much responsibility for one person, but I want you to understand something important. You will never be alone in this journey. The same force that brought you here will support you in the future. The same power that protected you for years will be the one that gives you the abilities to face what comes. The same wisdom that helped you when you were confused will be the one that helps you in every choice you have to make. You will not be abandoned. You will not be left without help. You will not be sent to a task without having all the necessary tools to do it well. Now write in the comments, I am guided, protected, and fortified by the angels of good. This phrase shows your courage, your faith, and your spiritual rebirth. And now I must tell you something that was discovered at the Celestial Council this morning. Something is happening against you that goes well beyond what you think. It's not just people involved. It's not just situations. It's not just some bad coincidences. It's a well-organized plan being executed by forces that understand very well your potential, and that will do everything to prevent you from waking up completely. They know that if you discover who you really are, if you use all the strength that you carry in you, if you accept your true spiritual identity, many things will change in your life, and in the life of those around you. That's why the resistance has been so strong. That's why the obstacles seemed impossible to overcome. And that's why there have been moments when you almost gave up everything. But what they didn't imagine is that every attack they sent against you, every difficulty they placed on your path, every pain they tried to use to break you, only made you stronger. It only woke up even more that force that you carry within you. It only activated even more that heavenly authority that has always been yours. And now, in this moment when you hear these words, something changes in the spiritual world. The chains they tried to bind you with are breaking. The walls they raised around you are falling. The doors they closed in front of you are opening again. And all this is not because of you, not by your own power, not by your wisdom. It's because the time that God determined has arrived. The hour that was marked on the celestial calendar has arrived. The prophetic moment when your true story begins has arrived. Everything you have lived until now was only preparation. Everything you have gone through until today was only training. Everything you have faced so far was only the warm-up for what really matters, for what will make a difference, for what will transform not only your life, but the life of many other people. Because you were not called to have a small life. You were not made for a common purpose. You were not created to go unnoticed. You were made to shine, to make a difference, to transform, to be an instrument of change in the hands of the Most High. And there's one more thing you need to know, something that will explain many things that happened in your life and that you never fully understood. From the moment you were born, your name was written on a special scroll that is in the celestial archive, not in the common book where all the other names are, but on a golden scroll that lists only those chosen for specific tasks, who have great responsibilities and who must fight battles that others cannot fight. Next to your name was placed a symbol, a divine seal that acts as a spiritual identification. That's why, since you were little, you have always known you were different. You have always felt that there was something special in you that you couldn't explain. You have always had unique dreams, special intuitions, and a sensitivity that is not like that of others. It wasn't just your imagination or a fantasy. It was because of that celestial mark that you carry. And that mark not only identifies you, it also protects you. It acts as a spiritual barrier that prevents certain things from reaching you, like an invisible shield that deflects attacks that could hurt you, like a bright signal that shows the angels where you are so they can help you whenever they need to. However, this special protection also attracts special challenges, because the greater the calling someone has, the greater the resistance they face. The more important the mission for which you were chosen, the harder the battle you will have to win. And the more potential you carry in you, the stronger the attempts will be to prevent that potential from manifesting. And you know it from experience, right? You know how complicated it has been to get here. You know how many times you wanted to give up. You know how many doors closed for you. But there was always a new opportunity around the corner. You know how many people disappointed you. But there was always someone to help at the right time. You know how many times you cried from pain. But at the end of the storm you always found a reason to smile again. All this was not by chance. All this was the result of the operation of this divine protection. It was the result of the special mark that you carry. Now that you understand this, now that you recognize this truth, you can work more intelligently with this protection. You can unite with this celestial force instead of fighting against it without understanding. Because many times when you were desperate, you questioned why certain things happened in your life. Many times you wondered why you had to go through such difficult situations while it seemed that others had easier lives. In many of those situations you got angry with God, thinking that He had forgotten you, or that He didn't care about your suffering. But the truth is that every difficulty you faced was an opportunity to grow spiritually. Every pain you felt was an opportunity to learn to have empathy for those facing the same situation. Every tear you shed was like a drop of wisdom that can now be used to help others not feel alone in their pain. Every struggle you overcame was like training for greater challenges that are still to come. Every time you got up after a fall, it was a strengthening of your inner strength that can now withstand things that used to break you. And now, looking back, you can see how all the parts of your life connect. How every event that seemed random actually formed part of something greater. How every difficulty that seemed meaningless was actually preparing you for this moment when you hear these words. And if you felt that this message has made sense to you so far, and you want to help it reach other people who are also going through difficult times, click on Super Thanks. This small gesture helps keep the mission alive, to bring hope to those who have already given up believing. Because this moment is not just for you. It concerns all the people connected to your destiny, all the souls that will be affected by your transformation, all the lives that will change when you fully accept who you really are. When a person discovers their true spiritual essence, they generate changes that go far beyond what they can perceive. Your family will be affected. Your friends will notice the difference, and even people you don't know will feel the light you will radiate by following your true path. And it's a great responsibility. But it's also an enormous privilege. It's an opportunity to do something meaningful in the world, to leave a positive mark in history, to know that your life really mattered, that your existence was worth it, and that your journey was worth it. But for this to happen, you must make a conscious choice. You must decide to leave aside your insecurities and start shining. It's important to stop giving excuses and assume your responsibilities. You must decide not to undervalue yourself and to occupy the space that is yours by right. However, this choice is not something you do once and forget. You must renew it. It's a commitment you make with yourself every time you wake up, a promise you renew every night before sleeping, and a decision you reaffirm every time you face a challenge. Because the world will try to convince you that you are not special, that you must settle for a normal life, that you must not dream big, so as not to hurt yourself. But you know that's not true. You feel it deeply, that you were created for much more. You have the certainty that in you there is a potential that has not yet been fully shown, and this confidence does not come from your mind or your thoughts, but from your spirit, which is always in contact with the divine, and knows what your true essence is. Now I must tell you something that may surprise you, but that is really important. During all these years when I protected you, when I fought for you, and interceded on your behalf, there were moments when I almost gave up. Some situations were so difficult with so much resistance that it seemed evil was winning, and I wondered if you really wanted help. Many times I gave you clear signs, but you didn't perceive them. I opened obvious paths, but you didn't take them. I brought special people into your life, but you didn't value them. Many times I whispered guidance in your heart, but you preferred to listen to what the majority said. And in all those moments I wondered if I was fighting for someone who really wanted to win, if I was protecting someone who desired to be protected, if I was interceding for someone who wanted divine help in their life. But every time I thought of giving up or moving on to protect another person, something made me continue. Something in your heart, a small flame, a weak light, but that never went out. A timid hope, but true, showed me that deep down you still believed, that you still had faith, that you really wanted to fight. And it's that spark that kept me here all this time. It's that light that gave me the courage to keep fighting for you. It's that hope that made me continue even when everything seemed hopeless, because I always knew that one day we would reach this point. I had faith that there would be a moment when you would finally wake up completely, when you would really understand who you are, when you would accept your true identity and start following your true purpose. And that day is today. This moment is now. This opportunity is this one, and there won't be another like it. Not because it's harsh or anxious, but because there is a precise time for everything in the world, a specific moment for every purpose, and a season for every revelation. And your hour has come. Your instant is now. Your opportunity is at this moment. And if you let it pass, if you choose once again not to act, if you opt again to remain still, I don't know when you will have another opportunity like this. I don't know if there will be another chance as clear, as direct, and as powerful as the one you have in front of you now. That's why I am so clear, why I am so insistent, why I am so direct. It's not to pressure you unnecessarily. It's not to force you to do something you don't want. It's not to manipulate you with fear. It's because I really care about you. Because I really believe in your potential. Because I really want you to shine with all your light, to live fully, and to walk with all your authority. And I know that you desire it too. I know that in your heart there is a strong desire to be everything you were created for. I know that in your soul there is an intense desire to live a life that really matters, that really makes a difference, that is really worth it. I know that in your spirit there is a true hunger to connect to something greater, to have a deeper purpose, to find lasting meaning. Your journey doesn't need to be solitary. Your battle doesn't need to be only yours. Your victory doesn't need to be without support. Here you will find soul brothers, travel companions, people who understand your pain because they have lived it too, and who celebrate your successes because they know how much you fought for them. And everything you feel is not a dream, not a fantasy, not just imagination. It is the truth of your spiritual essence trying to manifest. It is the cry of your true soul asking to be freed. It is the call of your true destiny asking to be fulfilled. Because when true people gather with a true purpose, incredible things happen. Lives change, futures are rewritten, and the impossible becomes possible. Before saying goodbye to you definitively, I want you to know something that will change everything. It's not just a goodbye. It's an invitation to be part of something grand, a spiritual family where every person matters, where every life strengthens the others. Thank you for listening up to here. I love you more than you can imagine. Please don't leave. The last call has not yet taken place. Subscribe to this spiritual healing channel on YouTube so you don't miss any other direct alert from God and the Archangel Michael. Become a member of this channel if you desire to receive even more intimate messages addressed exclusively to you. And if you can and want to contribute to this channel, leave a super thanks of any amount, because the revelations you will receive here will undoubtedly change the course of your life. And I thank you immensely in advance for finally having faith, for finally listening with attention. The choice is yours. Join this family. Leave your mark here. and help others find the same refuge you found today.